4 Marines, 1 naval petty officer are dead at the hand of Mohammed Yusuf Abdulaziz. He said why he was doing it. And yet 30 FBI agents are going to Chattanooga, Tennessee to look for a motive. None are as blind as the willfully blind. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Friend, I'm upset. And there is a time for us to be upset. Upset at idiocy. Upset at willful blindness. Upset at a policy, a federal policy pushed through by Obama himself that makes it against FBI policy to look at ideology or religion as a motivation. Now, before I go any further, just think how idiotic this is when you try and deconstruct what someone does. If a soldier in the Roman army said, I embrace Christ as Savior, I will not give incense, I will not burn incense to Caesar. If a Christian soldier had done that, and then he was martyred, imagine FBI agents going to the scene saying, we're not allowed to use ideology and religion as a source of motivation. Was he on any drugs? Did he show signs of depression? Did he shoot guns a lot? Was he known to swing his sword around a lot and throw spears a lot? Where did he grow up? Who were his associates? Was he radicalized by some of those people who hide in the catacombs? Not that we're going to say why they're hiding in the catacombs. Do you grasp how offensive, how disgusting it is? What our government is doing by sending 30 agents to Chattanooga to look for a motive. They're not looking for a motive. They're looking for a way to cover up the motive. I want to read to you from his blog. No, if you know what, first, let me read to you from the ABC News report. This is how idiotic we become. A full-scale terrorism investigation using the FBI, local law enforcement, intelligence agencies, and foreign allies is underway, trying to determine the motive behind Mohammed Yusuf Abdulaziz's attack on 2 military installations Thursday. As of now, no clear motive has been established for the mass shooting. Although many senior U.S. officials are deeply suspicious of an ISIS connection, because Abdulaziz did precisely what ISIS has been calling on followers to do: attack the U.S. military and law enforcement. But Special FBI Agent Ed Reinhold said today, at this time we have no indication that he was directed or inspired by anyone other than himself. Do you grasp how offensive this is? How disgusting it is? All right, trying to determine a motive. He said what he was doing and he said why he was doing it. We're not going to believe you. We're not going to believe you. We're going to spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to prove that it wasn't because you said you were following Muhammad's example and the example of his companions, and because you were, and you quoted a hadith just before you murdered these people and were killed yourself. We're not going to listen to any of that. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Did you say Muhammad? I can't hear you. You said Islam. I can't hear you. It's a joke. It's laughable. It's so offensive. So they said they're deeply suspicious of an ISIS connection because Abdulaziz did precisely what ISIS was calling on people to do. Where does ISIS get its motivation? Oh, we can't mention Islam. Can't mention Islamic terrorism. Can't mention mujahideen. Can't mention jihadist. Can't mention religion, can't mention ideology, can't mention the hadith, can't mention the Quran. It's offensive. It's a crime against our citizens. Because here's the deal, people. As I'm going to show you when we come back from this break, I'm going to read to you from Mohammed's blog, okay? Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm upset. It's clear that I'm upset. I have a master's degree, all right, from a military school, the oldest private military college in America, Norwich University. My master's degree is in diplomacy and international terrorism. I have studied international terrorism for years. I am a scholar in international terrorism. I know what I'm talking about, unlike these fools at the FBI. But their foolishness is actually making us more endangered. Not more safe, more endangered. Because if you won't listen to what a man is telling you, why he intends to kill you, he might just get away with your murder. Friend, we are in the middle of producing a 14-part epic television series called What Would Mohammed Do?, explaining Islam and ISIS to the West. I have a master's degree in international terrorism, and I have studied ancient Islamic texts for over a decade. And we are going to do a very paced and a very scholarly look at Muhammad's life and see the connection of his life to today's headlines. Well, we need your help on 3 levels. 1, we need help with some security measures. 2, we need help with some gear for the studio. And 3, we need help with some computers. I'm inviting you to go to the GoFundMe site that you see on the screen and watch the pilot for episode 1. You'll get a feel for what it's going to be, and I promise you, you're going to be excited. You'll be challenged, and you're going to want your friends to see it. And then after you've seen it, give what you can to help us with this project. Thank you. Just before Mohammed Yusuf Abdulaziz murdered those Marines and the petty officer, naval petty officer, God rest their souls, Jesus comfort their families, he called or texted somebody and said, he quoted a hadith, "Whoever acts with enmity towards a friend of mine will indeed declare war against him." I will indeed declare war against him. Now, I'm trying to find the exact hadith. I'll get it to you. One place said it was hadith number 38, of chapter 38 of Al-Bukhari. I haven't been able to find it yet. It may be a phrase from the Quran, but he was clearly quoting a holy text. Whoever acts with enmity, hatred towards a friend of mine, that would be ISIS, fellow Muslims, I will indeed declare war on him. So he found a phrase, part of the narrative, and he went and murdered these people. I'm going to read to you passages of his blog. Now, there's a phrase in Islamic literature, a word rather, called companions, or the phrase, the companions of the prophet, okay? The companions of the prophet are those who lived with him, worked with him, fought side by side with him in jihad, suffered reproach with him in Mecca, and then enjoyed great military victory and wanton bloodshed with Muhammad in Medina, okay? These are the companions. And in his blog, he uses the Arabic word for companion, all right? I'm going to Sahaba. I'm going to translate it for you and just use the word companion. And here's, I have not seen one news outlet, not one, just translate this word. He's writing in English, his blog, but he uses 1 or 2 phrases that are Arabic. It doesn't take much to translate a word, okay? So he refers to the companions of the prophet, those most noble people, the simplest, the ones who lived Islam, the ones who established Islam. This is what he said. Did you ever notice that in one certain period, towards the end of their lives, end of the lives of the companions, almost every one of the companions was a political leader or an army general. Every one of them fought jihad for the sake of Allah. He's focusing. He's focusing on the lives of the companions. Where would he get this information? Someplace certainly the FBI isn't looking. He's reading Ibn Ishaq. He's reading Al-Tabari. He's reading Ibn Kathir. He's studying Al-Bukhari. He's studying Sahih Muslim. It's not hidden. This information, to quote a line from a movie, is carefully hidden away in books. He's simply reading the most sacred and accessible Muslim texts. One of the news articles I read said that the FBI's worst nightmare is that somebody who they're not viewing it becomes a radical without their knowing it. Well, you know what, guys? Here's a quarter, let me buy you a clue, okay? If they are reading the Hadith, if they're spending time on search engines reading the Hadith, oh, wait a minute, what's the Hadith? I don't know, I work for the FBI. I've been told I'm not allowed to look at ideology. All right, well, if they're studying the Sunnah, then wait, what's the Sunnah? I work for the FBI. I'm not allowed. You people who have master's degrees and PhDs in international terrorism, you people who have made a discipline of studying Islamic terrorism, we're not allowed to talk to you because you say Islamic terrorism. Because you actually read the books that the Muslim terrorists, oh, did I say Muslim terrorists? I'm sorry. You actually read the books that disaffected gunmen who might have an economic problem or a drug problem and end up killing people. You read the books that they read, but we're not allowed to read those books because that's ideological. And we have to search for a motive that's other than that. You know, a bad job, bad relationship, drugs, in communication with ISIS, maybe having a bad hair day. I don't know, it's something. It just can't be an ideology. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas referred to John Locke twice in his dissent in the Obergefell decision. John Locke is referred to as the philosopher of American liberty. He was a genius, and he not only believed in natural law, but he believed in revealed law, the Word of God, the law of God. And he is one of the two most influential philosophers on the founders of this republic. We are offering you this book, and I'm going to give you my book as well, The Sword. The Sword, the subtitle is The Blessing of Righteous Government and the Overthrow of Tyrants. It looks at what is the legitimate purpose of government and when is it our right to overthrow government like they did with the Declaration of Independence. We will send you these two books if you simply pay for the shipping and handling, $8, and then give whatever else you want. And by the way, the $8 doesn't cover our cost, but if that's all you can afford, we'll send them to you for the $8. God bless you. Do you understand that the Obama policy to not look at ideology and to not look at religion makes your family, your community, more endangered and less safe? There's some 1,200 mosques in the United States. That's not a lot. So a really simple thing to do would be to have a person at the Friday prayer meeting. Okay, Friday is when they're supposed to get together. Christians go on Sunday, Jews go on Saturday, Muslims go on Friday evening, okay? If you had somebody there, just listen to what they're quoting. Just a thought. Listen to see if they're quoting certain passages from Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, certain passages from Ibn Kathir. I mean, you can find them. It's not hard to find, okay? Listen if they're studying the Sunnah. Well, what's Sunnah mean? I don't even know what Sunnah. I'd sooner be dead than alive. No, I'd sooner be alive than dead. No, not sooner. Sunnah, Mr. FBI agent, Mr. Reinhold. Sunnah means trodden path, the example, the way of life. Now listen to what this murderer said, this devout Muslim man. Listen to what he wrote in his blog. He said, every one of them, the companions, fought jihad for the sake of Allah. All of them, toward the end of their lives, were either a mayor of a town, governor of a state, or leader of an army at the front lines. The companions were very involved in establishing Islam in the world. Their mission was to establish Islam. Take your study guide, the Quran and the Sunnah. Oh, there's that word, Mr. FBI agent. With strength and faith, and be firm as you live your short life. He told us exactly what he was doing. Following the Quran, following the Sunnah, the example, the trodden path of Muhammad and the companions, his closest associates. All of the companions, all of them fought in jihad. He's accurate, by the way, in what he said. All of Muhammad's companions fought in jihad. All of them helped firmly establish Islam through jihad, through what modern scholars would call acts of terror, acts of Islamic terror, except for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which will not call it acts of Islamic terror. It has to search for some other motivation and will not look at the simple words of the clear motive that this man left behind. So, all they have to do is figure out who's studying the Sunnah, especially the Sunnah, the behavior of Muhammad, dealing with jihad, killing people that mock Muhammad, killing people that satirize Muhammad, killing people that spread discord in the land, people who say that Muhammad is a false prophet and that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Those are polytheists and people who make war against Muhammad and Allah, and people who sow discord in the land, and they shall have their hands and feet cut off on opposite sides and be crucified, okay? That's what the holy texts of Islam say. God save us, forgive me, Lord, for calling them holy. I want you to understand, we are in greater danger, and Muslims are laughing. They're between laughter and rage. The laughing part is, we're doing this right under their noses, and they won't see it because they refuse to see it. And they're enraged because we simply won't take them at their word. Okay? We wanted to say that, oh, it's about job opportunity. Yeah, Osama bin Laden was wealthy. Okay? This young terrorist, I shouldn't call him a terrorist. This young, devout, Orthodox Muslim trying to follow the example of Muhammad and the companions. He had an engineering degree, came from a well-to-do family. He was just following the example of his namesake, Muhammad, and Muhammad's companions. Friend, I am asking you to pray for us. I will tell you why when I come back from this break, but I am asking you to pray with us and to stand with us and to have the courage to see the truth and to say the truth. Don't follow the example, the idiotic example of the FBI. Friend, this TV show represents a mission. It's to be a voice of resistance to the evil in the land, but also to inspire people like you to take a stand at any level that you might be able to equip you, to inspire you, to challenge you, to give you the rhetorical ammunition that you need. But we still have to pay bills. This program, as you know if you're a regular viewer, we don't spend a lot of time raising money. We don't spend a lot of time saying, oh, you need to buy this and we're going to run. No, we're bringing you a message, but we still have bills that we need to pay. I'm asking you, if you have been blessed by this show, to please go to our website or send a check to the address you see on the screen or call the phone number that you see on the screen and use your credit card and to give $50 or $100 or $500 just to help us meet our normal expenses. And we'll keep bringing you this hard-hitting show. Listen closely to me. Islam is made up of the Quran on one hand and the example of Muhammad, his life, on the other. Those two together make up the bedrock of Islam. That is Islam. Now, Muhammad's example goes by several names. The traditions of the Prophet, the Hadith. The Hadith are the written record of what Muhammad did and said, or allowed to happen in his presence, that is not in the Quran. Or the Sunnah. The Sunnah is Muhammad's example. The word Sunnah means trodden path, way of life, example. So when you hear me or others talk about the traditions of the Prophet or the Sunnah or the Hadith, or you see this young assassin, Muhammad Yusuf Abdulaziz, say, you've got the Quran, you've got the Sunnah, follow the example, follow the guidelines of the Quran and the Sunnah, he's talking about the example of Muhammad's life, okay? Those phrases, traditions of the Prophet, Hadith, Sunnah, they're used interchangeably by Muslim scholars, by Muslim students, and by Muslim jihadists, and by lone wolves, okay? So this man is an embodiment of what the FBI says is its worst nightmare. Somebody that is not associated with a terrorist organization that just self-radicalizes. No, it's a Muslim who becomes serious about their faith. It's a Muslim who takes the Hadith and the Sunnah and the traditions of the Prophet seriously. Let me tell you a little secret. The Quran is about 1/8 the size of the Bible. It's a very small book. But the Sunnah, the record, the Hadith, the record of Muhammad's traditions, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, others, Ibn Ishaq, Al-Tabari, Ibn Kathir, these records encompass scores of volumes, millions and millions of words. It dwarfs the Quran, dwarfs the Bible. And so a devout Muslim doesn't just study the Quran, as this terrorist said. He studies the Sunnah, the example of Muhammad's life. He reads the Hadith, the Sunnah, the traditions of the Prophet, okay? That's exactly what the FBI is not allowed to read. Now, we are creating, and I need your help. I need your help in prayers right now. If this upsets you, even a portion of how much it upsets me, I'm asking for your prayers. I'm asking for your help. As I said, I have a master's degree in diplomacy and international terrorism. I've been studying these things for years. And we are putting together a multi-part series called What Would Muhammad Do? Islam, ISIS, and Lone Wolves Explained to the West. That's what we're doing. You can see the pilot episode, the first episode, online. Go to gofundme.com/Randall Terry, okay? I'm asking you, I'm begging you, take 22 minutes. It's 22 minutes of your time to look at this pilot episode. And you will learn more in that 22 minutes than in anything you have ever seen on Fox, CNN, ABC, CBS, anything you've read in the New York Times, Washington Post, your local newspaper. That's my promise to you in those 22 minutes, because I lay out the foundation of what motivated this young terrorist before he ever killed anyone. I laid it out. I'm asking you for your help. We, by the grace of God and the support of friends like you, we have purchased 2 film-grade cameras. We have purchased 2 state-of-the-art teleprompters. We have the lighting that we need. We have the tripods that we need, the digital storage units that we need. But we need new computers. And it's not a Dell or a Hewlett-Packard laptop, okay? We're talking about computers, 3 computers and monitors for broadcast that will cost us about $25,000. Ouch. By the way, that's on the cheap. If you were to go to Fox or CBS or NBC, they could easily have $500,000 worth of computers. These are workhorses. We need them to finish this series and to finish the documentary that we're working on. We're going to do a documentary on this stuff, the traditions of the Prophet and lone wolves, okay? I'm asking you for your help. Maybe if you can give $1,000, we will put your name or the name of a loved one or in honor of someone as a producer of this series. If you can give $2,500, we'll put you on as a producer of the documentary. Maybe you can give $50 or $100. No matter what you give, when this series is over, we will send it to you on DVD. Please go to this website or send a check. Be as generous as you can. Help us tell America the truth about lone wolves.